Yeah, put that meat in your mouth. Welcome, everyone, to Random Meat. So, like I said, with the holiday weekend and everything kind of shifting around a little bit, before we make even more changes, I'm just going to kind of wing it this week. And yeah, so we're going to do Random Meat. What we're going to do today is we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be doing is talking about central bank digital currency, which is going to be dropping in the United States tomorrow. Yeah. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start here on the YouTubes. I'm going to explain CBDC. We're going to talk about it a little bit, what's coming, what to expect. And if it gets a little too spicy on that meat seasoning, we're going to go ahead and head over to the Rumbles. So we'll see. But for now, I have every intention of staying right here. We'll see how it goes. So let's say hi to everybody, and we'll get stuck right into it. We have the lovely Impish. What's up, Cheesy? Wrong. Hey, Dog Mama. What's up? What's up, Comer? Are we going to watch the budget vote in the background? Is that going on right now? Hang on. Budget vote. It looks like that is over 9 hours ago. Full vote in House. I actually haven't paid attention to it, but debt ceiling debate underway. So I'll look at that because we might. That kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. So we'll maybe take a look at that. Looks like they're still having debate. So I will keep an eye on this, and if it goes to the vote, we will watch it live. Big Giant Fleck, what's up, buddy? What's up, Jacob? Holy shit, she does live. What's up, Mimi? First money was gold, then it was paper worth gold, then it was just paper, and now it's going to be digits on the screen. Exactly. Yeah, I'm seeing it too. So they're debating on the floor. I mean, shit, we can take a vote. I don't mind. We can listen to it for a little bit. Here. Debate and hey, Puffer. Oops, did I go over? Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Votes to CBDC only. Take a nap. There we go. There's a poll up. That makes so much sense. Oh, I know. It's terrible. I missed having you spy on me. We got away with so much shit while you were gone. Like this. I made this clip.
Vagina. Vagina.
And I have more. Why we're voting?
They came all over the place. I don't give a damn.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm an extremely stable genius. Okay.
Let's go, Brandon. Hey. Let's go, Brandon. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
You know what they saying? See, I made some. I agree. I don't know how many people we have. How many viewers? Let me see. Well, we're not going to get all 10. We need one more vote to break the tie, since I shouldn't have put that last option. Hang on, let me get the burner. Taking that for the win. It's not winning yet. Anybody? Any other votes? Any other votes? Going once. Going twice. 3 times and done. All right, watch the debt ceiling floor debate. I'm completely content with that, y'all. So let me flip it over, and we'll start there, because that kind of plays into what we're doing right now. So convenient timing. Let me say that much. Give me 1 second here.
Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
I'm sorry?
I reserve.
Yeah,
Gentleman
of
from
course.
Missouri reserves.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a breakdown of the time.
I'm getting better, I think. I hope.
Gentleman from Massachusetts has 10 minutes. The gentleman from Missouri has 4 minutes.
Got new intros.
Thank you,
Thanks
Mr.
for being
Speaker. Let
back.
me yield 1 minute to another
All
very
kinds of
capable
shit.
member of the Ways and Means Committee, the gentleman from Illinois.
Please, Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nothing to see
Gentleman
here,
from
please.
Illinois is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of the bipartisan budget agreement and President Biden's work to ensure the nation pays our bills and avoids catastrophic, self-inflicted economic crisis. This legislation protects the many bipartisan achievements realized in the last Congress.
Well, I think
such
that
as the infrastructure
yes,
investment in
I think
Jobs
that's
Act,
the goal.
CHIPS
Until
and
they
Science
can
Act,
pin it on
and PACT
somebody.
Act, as well as the Inflation Reduction Act with its historic
Yeah,
investments in addressing climate
I don't
change.
get what the thought is.
With this
We
vote,
should
we
just
will
default.
protect Social Security,
We need to
Medicare, and
default.
Medicaid,
We need to
and prevent
reset. We
devastating
need to
cuts
start over.
sought to life-sustaining
And-
SNAP and TANF programs. With
Yeah,
this vote, we will
I
keep
think just
America
continuing to
moving
raise the debt
forward
ceiling does
to meet
nothing
the
for us.
challenges ahead of us. Compromise requires give and take, and both sides make difficult concessions to achieve this agreement. This is the result of bipartisan deal-making, and I look forward to holding up the president's side of this bargain. I hope this is a learning moment and we can avoid future political brinksmanship. I urge all my colleagues to put the American people over politics
point,
and support this important bill. Thank
Time
you,
to
Mr.
reset it
Speaker.
all.
I yield back the balance of my time.
See, I know we
Gentleman yields back.
survive.
Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from Missouri is
Reserve.
recognized.
I reserve, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Missouri continues to reserve. Gentleman from Massachusetts is
Thank you, Mr.
recognized.
Speaker. Let me yield 1 minute again to a very capable member of the Ways and Means Committee, the gentleman from California, Congressman Panetta, for 1 minute.
Gentleman from California is
Is
recognized
there
for 1 minute.
any
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
competent
I
people on
support
the
the
floor?
bipartisan budget agreement to raise the debt ceiling Because if we don't, we will devastate the global markets and undermine the faith of the world's most important
Fuck the
financial
global
system,
markets.
the United States of America. I support a clean raising of the debt ceiling, but elections have consequences. And my colleagues on the other side wanted to use their leverage for concessions. And so, in a divided government, governing means compromise, and it gets us this bill. Legislation that would, would raise the debt ceiling until 2025. 2, the bill would stop the drastic cuts desired by the Republicans, and it would protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And although it limits SNAP for certain ages, it expands those types of benefits for veterans and our homeless. And finally, we protect the historic legislation that we passed last Congress to invest in our infrastructure, our manufacturing, reduce our drug costs, and care for veterans. And part of this bill even furthers our transition to clean energy. So I will vote for this bill, but we have a lot more to do if we want to get serious about reducing our debt and deficit. But that only begins when we stop governing by crisis and start governing by leadership. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Gentleman from Massachusetts continues reserved. Gentleman from Missouri.
I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Pfluger.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today on behalf of my district, most important energy district in the country, and on behalf of American energy independence, and on behalf of all Americans who are searching for a reasonable solution to a looming crisis. There are approximately right now 229 major fossil fuel projects in the United States currently awaiting permit approval.
They're going to print
a recent study found that $157 billion in energy investment was stuck in the NEPA pipeline, and that simply a 2-year NEPA deadline would spur $67 billion
democratic process
in energy investment. Killing energy projects by the bureaucratic red tape nightmare.
We get shitheads like this guy.
The slow walking that we've seen is unacceptable. No more. I'm extremely proud of the energy reforms, the NEPA reforms, the EPA reforms.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this is happening right now, and I have no problem putting it to a vote.
Cost for consumers and protect our national security.
Absolutely.
No, this bill is not perfect, and arguably it shouldn't be. A divided government yields compromise, and it slows the heavy hand of government. But saving $2 trillion, lifting families out of poverty, and defunding IRS agents is worth it. Vote yes for America's energy independence.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair, I recognize the gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentlelady from the Virgin Islands, an alum of the Ways and Means Committee, Congresswoman Plaskett.
Gentlelady from the Virgin Islands recognized for 1 minute.
Oh, no, we'll find a way to give them more money.
Through Democrats' leadership, Democrats have protected our hard-earned and historic economic recovery. That team secured an agreement that prevents Republicans from forcing devastating default and rejects their most extreme cuts in the GOP Default in America bill. President Biden's agreement protected Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans' health care. This was a negotiation with individuals whose prime priority was cutting food assistance and protecting the wealthy. And that was their main priority across the entire negotiation. Fiscal responsibility, their only responsibility was to protect their tax cuts for ultra wealthy that grew the debt to $7 trillion in the first place. The president successfully insisted that this agreement was going to include time limits on SNAP. It needed to include meaningful improvements to SNAP. Republicans protected the wealthy at the feet of the neediest Americans.
Gentleman's time's expired.
Democrats understand the needs of the American people and our most vulnerable Americans, as well as the full faith and credit of the American people.
Gentleman's no longer recognized. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to remind my colleagues that because of the Republican Tax Cut and Jobs Act, the bottom 20% of earners saw their average federal tax rate fall to its lowest level in 40 years. Low and middle income families of 4 saved at least $2,000 on their tax bill each year. I reserve.
Gentleman from Missouri continues reserved. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me recognize the distinguished gentleman from Georgia, the ranking member on the Agricultural Committee, Mr. Scott, for 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most historic night.
Gentlemen will suspend. The House will be in order. Gentleman needs to be heard.
Thank you.
Gentleman's recognized.
First of all, I want to thank President Biden. President Biden invited me, along with the other leaders, ranking member and chairman of our Agriculture Committee. And it gave me a chance to talk straight to the president about the serious food shortage that's coming to our veterans. Right now, when I told him, and many of you may not know this, but the veterans are living in more insecure food households than anybody else, a 7.4% higher than the general public. And when I told President Biden that, he said, we got to do something about it. And that's when he moved with his energy to be able to take not only the veterans, but SNAP and others off of SNAP work requirements.
Gentleman's time's expired.
God bless this president for his leadership.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair will remind members that they need to remove their conversations from the floor. The speakers deserve to be heard. Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentleman continues to reserve. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Let me recognize the distinguished gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Mervin, for 1 minute.
Gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ran for Congress to solve problems, and this legislation averts a crisis. A default would jeopardize millions of people with unemployment, increase credit ratings or increase interest rates, and risk retirees and devastate their 401ks. A default would also jeopardize numerous investments in the American worker in the 117th Congress, including the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. This bill not only increased created jobs, but it also, with a strong Buy American provision, strengthened our domestic steel and manufacturing base. And it also allows for our members, our veterans, to be protected and puts funds dedicated to the health benefits and provides resources for the Toxic Exposure Fund. I appreciate the dedicated work of the administration and the Democratic colleagues. For my neighbor Gretchen, who had anxiety about her 401k, this bill supports the American worker. It supports the American industry, the steel industry, and it also
Gentleman's time's expired.
Protects the American dream. I'm voting yes.
Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
I reserve, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Missouri reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, could I inquire as to how much time?
Gentleman from Massachusetts has 5 minutes remaining.
Okay.
Gentleman from Missouri has 2.5 minutes.
We're waiting on one speaker, and I'd like to move this along, depending on what the chairman's position is.
Prepared to close. We're prepared to close.
You're prepared to close?
Yes.
We're prepared to close.
This gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized for closing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that this has been an elevating conversation about how we arrived here tonight. Our colleagues on the other side, they voted for the infrastructure bill, they voted for the CHIPS Act, they voted for the CARES Act, they voted for the defense spending increases, and they voted for a tax cut in 2017 that borrowed $2.3 trillion that was added to the national debt. Now, for those who might be paying attention tonight, the national debt is the cumulative effect of deficits. These were annual deficits that were run up. Neither party is responsible for the pandemic. On March 11th of 2020, we were warned what was coming. 20 million jobs evaporated. Tonight, in some measure, because of the leadership of Joe Biden, every one of those jobs has been returned, and 9.5 million jobs go unanswered. In this negotiation, which means you don't get everything you want, there are some quality moments that we take great credit for. We defended Social Security, despite the fact there were 3 Republican senators who proposed cuts to Social Security. That's the reality.
81 million votes came
in a red
wagon in Detroit.
We defended Medicaid and we defended veterans benefits. And very proud of the fact that we wrote the Pandemic Relief Act.
Ozzy is a really good friend of
group
mine.
here tonight,
And actually,
I've been here long enough to know
Ozzy's
this.
the reason I started
They were
streaming.
against this before they were
And
against it.
They
were against it
I'm both at funny
Years
parties
ago.
and
Never mind tonight.
incredible at blackmail. How do you think I have
But
two
this
producers
moment
working for
of
me for
bringing the
nothing?
nation to default,
Wink, wink.
what this does, or what it would do to the American dollar as the currency of choice for the world,
small but mighty.
what this would do in treasury markets for liquidity purposes, what this would do to the hard-earned 401k plans of the American family, to take us to this moment in this showdown that we had. This argument tonight was never about perfection. All 435 members of this House would probably have written a different version of this bill. But in divided government, that's not
I'm trying
reality.
so hard.
Now, the last point I want to make
I'm grinding it out, brother.
is this. In coming days after this righteous debate about balancing the budget, our Republican colleagues are about to offer a massive tax cut. We need to be ready because of the fiscal rectitude that they have offered on this floor tonight. So the corresponding responsibility of all of us is to point out what they intend to do with another tax cut. 201, $1.3 trillion. And by the way, with 2 wars and 2 million more veterans that we need to support. Now, the other reality is back in 2003, another $1 trillion of tax cuts. And the worst one of all, that tax cut in December of 2017, where they borrowed $2.3 trillion for a tax cut that went to the wealthiest among us and had very meager economic growth. So this debate tonight was a good and spirited one because we also have, I think, found a common purpose in passing this legislation. But let's engage this debate going forward. If we want the things that we say they want, we're going to have to pay for them. And that means at some point revisiting these tax cuts that have been put on the table in an arbitrary fashion, and as I noted, with borrowed money. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Massachusetts yields back the balance at this time. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
You know, Mr. Speaker, we hear the other side of the aisle over and over talk about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Well, let me tell you about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Last year, we had record revenue into the United States of $4.9 trillion, which was $900 billion plus more than what Joint Tax and CBO predicted what would happen upon passage of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act delivered for a family of 4 who makes less than $60,000 a year that they pay 0 in federal taxes.
Gentlemen will suspend. The House will be in order. Members will remove their conversations from the floor. The gentleman deserves to be heard. Gentleman's recognized.
But, Mr. Speaker, let's talk about tax
Oh, it's
cuts.
a great name.
The other side passed something called the Inflation Reduction Act, and it was tax cuts for their wealthy donors. In fact, the CBO just came out with a new score saying that it cost over $700 billion. But guess what? 90% of your tax credits go to corporations
Surprises me that
with more
national
than $1
defense is at
billion
12%.
in
I thought it'd be
revenues. And it goes to $125 billion to China. That is what your tax cuts did. After years of Washington running in the wrong direction, we have an opportunity to take meaningful steps in the right direction on addressing America's debt crisis. The American people deserve nothing less. They see what inflation caused by reckless spending of the Democrat Party has done to their family budgets, to their retirement security, and to their small business plans. We have the opportunity to end the constant doling out of tax dollars under the guise of COVID relief. We have the opportunity to downsize the $80 billion pay raise that was given to the IRS last year. The IRS does not need a raise. It needs a reckoning. We have the opportunity to support those who can work, to find work and climb out of poverty. We have the opportunity to put some guardrails on the administration so
Little
if
rocket,
they are
man.
going to spend tax dollars by executive fiat, they have to find savings somewhere else. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to address our debt crisis as we address the debt ceiling. Yield back, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Missouri reserves, yields back his balance of his time. Members are reminded to direct their remarks to the chair. All time for debate has expired pursuant to House Resolution 456. The previous question is ordered on the bill as amended. Question is on engrossment and third reading of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Third reading.
Provide for a responsible increase to the debt ceiling.
The question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Aye. No. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Without objection. Purposes of gentleman.
I have no idea.
Gentleman from Massachusetts asked for a recorded vote. Those in favor of a recorded vote will rise. Sufficient number having arisen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, this 15-minute vote on passage of the bill will be followed by a 5-minute vote on the motion to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 2797. This is a 15-minute vote.
Well, we'll see what happens then. Damn. No, it's absolutely not his real hair. Can't be. So okay. So of course it's a 15-minute vote, so that means they'll take about a half an hour, even though they're all in there and they all know what they're going to vote already. I think it should be an immediate vote, and if you don't vote, kiss my ass. This is all just ridiculousness. So we know where everybody's going to probably line up. That's a lot of Republican yay. It's probably going to pass. It should be just a simple majority, so what is there? I should know this. 238? 270? 270? Sorry. 270? Yep, spend. Because you have to look like a cheap, sleazy used car salesman to be in Congress anymore. It's just part of the rules. That's a lot of yays. I have a hard time believing it doesn't pass at this point. $110.31. Yeah, it's gonna pass. Well, the suspense is gone. And I think this is if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a 3-year plan. For a steady increase in raise, so they won't go through this for, I believe it's 3 years. I could be mistaken. If anybody knows, you're welcome to correct me, but well, it depends on how many are not voting as well. So because they'll play games, and just like they did with the speaker vote, certain members of certain caucuses won't vote. If it's 218, it would be if everyone votes. I don't think there is a work requirement currently, so I wonder what stricter means. In other news, 1 hour ago, Vladimir Putin orders full mobilization of his military in the coming days. Could be on the scale of World War II. So, just the news that just popped up. So, it's going well, is what that means. Yes, absolutely. Depending on your skin color. The agreement will place additional work requirements on older Americans to receive food assistance, but will remove those barriers for veterans and homeless adults. This is for the passage of the debt ceiling limit. Every indication is that it's going to pass with numbers that heavily in favor. Because the Republicans look like, once again, they have no balls. They absolutely do. And here's the thing. Here's the quick thing on that. Putin's not gonna. He's not gonna lose, and he's not gonna allow it to lose. And he'll throw everything he can at it because he feels like this is for, his country to remain relevant. He's never gonna give up anything. So it was always gonna head this way where it was really nasty. See, they're all just standing around. Like, go vote. What the hell? And it's all a game. People want to abstain so that they can look good. Oh, I voted present, but I abstained from voting. That's not what you're there for. If you don't believe in the bill, vote no. If you believe in the bill, vote yes. It's that simple. So this not voting shit is just, it's disgusting to me. You barely do your job as it is, and then over half of you are not going to vote or haven't voted so far, I should say. Yep. Well, they talk tough, but they cave every fucking time. That's why we truly need a third party. And I understand how hard that is. And I understand how much of a pain in the ass that is. And I've talked about that several times. But I don't think that either of these, well, I know that neither of these parties serve my interest. The Republicans or the Democrats no longer serve my interest as an American. So why should I have to pick between them? Sorry, I was watching a video that somebody sent. This is the longest video, or yeah, this is the longest video I've ever seen. Yeah, and like I said, it won't even be. They won't even be close to done. They'll add another 10 minutes, and then people will stick around. Like, this is the most existential threat to our democracy right now. And they just meander for a half an hour and don't vote on it. Like, come on. You're goddamn right. 14 watching and only 4 likes. That's some bullshit. And I already have the X-Acto knife tits. So you better get on them. Oh shit. 5 minutes? Holy hell. So will we accept floods of Ukrainian refugees, or are they too white? That's a good question. I think it's extended to anybody who's not American at this point, to be honest. I think that's the threshold, is anybody who's not American. Four minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's already looking very much so like this is gonna carry. Of course, you have 136 Democrats that are not voting, which makes no sense. So when the Democrats say, oh, well, those terrible Republicans, well, they could flip this and say nay. But yet again, and this is why I didn't make a big deal about the debt ceiling, and I haven't covered it to this point. And that's not an indictment on you guys. Like, that's cool. If that's what you want to watch, go for it. But won't take anyone lighter than khaki. That could be. But yeah, it's the same song and dance. They can't actually get anything accomplished. They have to drag it out and make it dramatic and play this game every single time. And we've seen this song and dance over and over again. And they're attention whores. They want everybody watching. They want everybody looking at what they're doing. On this side of it. On the other side of the wall, they don't want anybody even close. So we almost have a full majority, but it's the illusion of work. Well, yeah, and it's the illusion of what the hell else are they doing on the other side of that wall? Like, that's what we don't know about. I would agree. Well, anybody that's trying to come here legally, it's difficult. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, buddy? I'm taking a nap currently as we speak. So surprise, surprise, it's going to pass. Woo. And I believe, did Biden already commit to signing this bill? I really haven't. I haven't been paying attention to this because it's all the same bullshit every single time. While we're watching this shit show, so that tells you anything. I agree. McCarthy, yeah, he's exactly what we thought he was when people wouldn't vote for him for speaker. Like, neocon. Oh, legal immigration is ridiculously expensive, ridiculously difficult, and people wait for a very long time. Even individuals that I know that are I know a young lady from Brazil, multiple doctorate degrees, been, definite contribution to society, and isn't white, and still can't get in legal. Like, it's this big process, costs a shit ton of money, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Mexicans get sent back. Central Americans who Mexicans have no love for get across border. Yeah, and that's another thing. So, well, we're seeing. So I mean, we're way over even a simple majority. So we're at 253. So, yeah, it passed. And again, I'm increases the debt ceiling by $4 trillion and lets Breeze continue to spend exactly as Biden wants to. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy and expensive. And the ones that we want, the good people, like my friend or like you, it takes forever, and you can't, it's not an easy process. And then we have people that have add no benefit whatsoever to the United States that we just let in, give them citizenship, give them handouts. We should. Yep. Never. Well, the Pentagon loses all kinds of money. Dick Cheney? Anyone? I mean, we're on YouTube. I can't say it. Well, yeah, we need to increase the debt ceiling and set up spending for the next 3 years so that we can stop spending for the next 3 years. It just makes sense. So now that this is passed, I have some advice for everyone.
My heart, there's nothing our nations can't achieve if we do it together. I really mean it. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Let's go lick that motherfucker. Let's go lick it all. No, they don't. And there's so much waste and so much fraud, so much abuse of the system, and nobody cares to do anything about it. Yep. It was again for the second time. At this vote, or at this rate, hell, I think that's super majority. Like, that's enough to pass it through without even Biden's signature. That breaks the veto, doesn't it? Like, legitimately? 60. So yeah, that easily breaks the veto. So Apollo went from 15 to 50, and now it's like 50 something. Yep. Absolutely. They don't listen to anything. Even if you do call them. That's crazy. It's 4 here. Yep. Yeah, as did I. But I think mine actually listened because they're a Democrat. But yeah, mine's getting up there too. It's insane. All right. Yep, we got to keep waiting. Jesus Christ. Wow. Probably 30%. I was thinking the same thing, Blue Andress. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to have a party. We have to have politicians that serve our interests. Because every single member, except, let's be honest, maybe, 3? In this entire room of 435, every single member has their own interest and not ours. Shut up, Piers. Damn. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, you drive truck, don't you? Holy shit. Wow. I was gonna listen to this and then we'll go to the topic at hand. Oh shit. That's a lot then. I thought you drove truck.
Yeas are 314, the nays are 117. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Why the fuck would you
Pursuant to Clause 8
reconsider?
of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on the motion of the gentlewoman from Missouri, Ms. Wagner, to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 2797 as amended, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title.
H.R. 2797, a bill to amend the Securities Act of 1933 to require certification examinations for accredited investors and for other purposes.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill as amended? Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
This one's supposed to be important too. Again, I haven't looked into it, but on motion to suspend the rules and pass it. So fuck it. Let's just say screw the rules and we're gonna pass this on top of it. So we'll let this run for a minute and then 2797, HR 2797. Again, it looks like this is easily gonna pass. Oh, oh man. Oh, man. Oh yeah, it's all just bullshit. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah. Yeah. Suspend the rules quickly. Quickly voted on. I want to read this bill real quick. So I'm gonna mute for like 2 seconds while this is going, and I'm gonna read through this bill. I'll be right back with you. It should fall. It should fall. I wonder what the futures are. Damn it. See, now I'm... Oh. Ford Motor Company futures down 5%. We'll go through that. Holy shit. So we'll go through that too. Let me read this bill real quick while they're recording the votes. Apologize. But what is going? Hang on. Do I have... Yeah, I have... Oh, that's going to be loud. Sorry. Some background music. I'll be right back. I want to just speed read through this damn thing. So that's great. This is the Equal Opportunity for All Investors Act of 2023. So this is for bill expands who may be considered an accredited investor for purposes of participating in offerings of securities. Specifically, blah, blah, blah. It suspends investors that must satisfy... God, I hate how some of this shit's written. It suspends investors having to satisfy certain requirements indicating their reduced exposure to financial risk. Included are their income, net worth, knowledge, experience, and training. So it's for individuals that, I'm just reading over it. Yeah, it's for individuals. It's the equal opportunity for investors. So it's diversity and inclusion, equity, all that garbage. So, and again, very, very easily, this one's going to, so it allows people that are not qualified to be qualified because they're a different color than the majority. Basically, yeah, I mean, that as well. So anybody can, it opens up the test to be free, so it's free, you can take it, and you don't need the previous qualifications or certifications to be a trader in securities. Yes, it is. Hell yeah, I am.
Vote the yeas are 383, the nays are 18. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Motion to reconsider. Why the hell would
Chair
you
lays
reconsider?
before the House of Communication.
The Honorable the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. I write to inform you that I am resigning my position as the member of the United States Congress representing the 1st Congressional District of Rhode Island, effective at the close of the legislative day of May 31st, 2023. It has been the honor of my lifetime to represent the 1st Congressional District of Rhode Island in the United States House of Representatives.
Yep.
And I am eternally grateful for their trust and faith that the people of the 1st District placed in me to serve as their member of Congress for the past 12 years. Enclosed, find a copy of the letter I have submitted to the Rhode Island Governor, Daniel J. McKee. Signed sincerely, David N. Cicilline, Member of Congress.
Pursuant to Section 3Z of the House Resolution 5, the House stands in adjournment until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, that's cute. They get to come in at 11 in the morning. This government is a fucking joke. I think so. Again, I like to have solutions, but I don't know. What the hell? Anyways, that's that. Here's what the markets look like right now. Dow's down. S&P's down. This is not financial advice. I am just merely showing you. Nasdaq's down. Russell 2000 is down. You can see all the composites are down. Apple's down, Microsoft's down, Cisco, Pfizer. Huh. Pfizer's up. And Intel. Wow. Yeah, it looks like everything's down. Everything's down. Let's go to most active. Intel, Qualcomm's down. AMD is down huge. I don't know how to. God damn it. So if we look at AMD, AMD's down. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's down significantly. Bitcoin's down, Amazon's down, JP Morgan Chase, Ethereum's down. Oh, Boeing's up. BCE's down, AMD's down. Dogecoin. Oh shit. Microsoft. So yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of things down. So it's not. There's no way. Yes, it is, but it can give us some indicators. Yep. Congress. They might as well start putting fucking advertisements on their jackets. Oh god, I wish it would rain so bad here. We haven't had rain at all. Oh, I know. Like, and we're not supposed to ask any questions. Well, that's what I'm saying. The defense contractors are up. Oh yeah, because probably going to war. I know, that's what I'm saying, tits. And it is so dry here. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna go into the original show topic now. Only an hour and a half in. It's a new record. Wow, winds are supposed to be 60. Wow. Well, stay safe. Actually, this is the one I wanted to. So we're gonna read through this kind of, and then I'm gonna give my opinion. Fuck it, we'll stay on YouTube. I was gonna go over to Rumble, but fuck YouTube. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are a form of digital currency issued by a country's central bank. They're similar to cryptocurrencies, except that their value is fixed by the central bank and equivalent to the country's fiat currency. Many countries are developing CBDCs, yeah, that was right. And some have even implemented them. Like us tomorrow, the United States is switching to a central bank digital currency as of June 1st. There's a bill that's welcome, Aussie Raiders. We are just getting to the show topic, so I take it you mean Aussie Raiders, but I didn't look at the numbers, so I don't know. We are just getting to the show topic. All right, so the United States is going to central bank digital currency in about 2 hours. So I wanted to get to this before it started. Might as well wait till the last possible second to do so. And yeah, this is going to be fun. You wonder if it had some coincidence with potentially the debt ceiling limit that we just got into. Hey, what's up, Jude? Aussie Raiders, if you're new here, please subscribe to me. I'm so close. I'm getting there. I'm like 170 away from finally being monetized. I would love you so much. If you're not new here, make sure that you are still subscribed. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. And we just watched the I Am Gonna Come when I get there. I had one, but it won't upload. But I gotta.
They came all over the place.
That's gonna be me. Wait, what? I actually don't. I saw that was a new feature, and I was clicking on myself earlier, but unless I'm watching the actual stream, no, I don't see them. Unfortunately, I don't see them on StreamYard. Yep. Can't give financial advice, but it's probably not a bad idea to look at some precious metals. Yes, and share too, please. Please. All right. So back to this. So like I said, you guys are perfect timing because we just watched the debt ceiling. It passed, of course. Build the suspense. Make it a Hollywood movie. U.S. will be split into districts under the Chinese Bank of Beijing, New England, Northeast, Southeast, North Central, South Central, North Mountain, South Mountain, Northwest, and Southwest. It has begun. I tend to agree with you, and I put together I'll have to look for it because I don't know where it's at. But I actually broke it up into 5 distinct kind of territories, almost a balkanization of the United States, and I think that's probably the most realistic scenario is that that's what happens. So I have a wide range of metals. I really like copper. It's so pretty. It's not as cheap, but when we go to a barter system, copper is much easier to break down to trade. So we'll see. All right, back to this. Because so many countries are researching ways to transition to digital currencies, it's important to understand what they are and what they mean for society. A central bank digital currency is the digital form of a country's fiat currency. That's true. Yep. God, I wish. Bullets, what? I have, my wife actually got them for me for something. I have silver and copper bullets of all the different calibers. You know, they're just little, all the different calibers of firearms I have, so. Silver is much cheaper and easier to break down as well. Also has use. Yep. Precious metal. Oh, precious metals bullets. Gotcha. Yeah, I need to get on that too. A nation's monetary authority or central bank issues a CBDC, which promotes financial inclusion and simplifies implementing monetary and fiscal policy. So what's that saying is they can actually put limits and expirations, what you can't spend it on. They can completely control your money supply entirely. So you have no input, no ability to spend it on what you want. It could expire as a stimulus, so they make you spend it because there's a lot of communications that, oh, people are just saving the stimulus and they're not spending it. So that could certainly happen. They're just like little cast bullets, so they're not like real fireable bullets, but they're just casts of the different precious metals. So no gunpowder, and each of them have a different, ounce rating or whatever. So many countries are exploring how CBDCs may affect their economies, financial networks, and stability. Understanding central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, fiat money, is government-issued currency that has no backing from a physical commodity like gold or silver. It is considered a form of legal tender that can be exchanged for goods and services. Traditionally, fiat money came as banknotes and coins, but technology has allowed governments and financial institutions to supplement physical fiat money with credit-based model that records balances and transactions digitally. Physical currency is still widely exchanged and accepted. However, some developed countries have experienced a drop in its use. And that trend accelerated during the pandemic because you made it accelerate. Tip: governments and central banks worldwide are exploring possibility of blah, blah, blah. We already read that. When and if they are implemented, these currencies would have the full faith and backing of the government that issues them, just as fiat money does. So it doesn't mean shit. The introduction and evolution of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology have created further interest in cashless societies and digital currencies. Nobody is interested in cashless societies. And we're to blame for this. So many times we've sacrificed rights for convenience, and we certainly have something to do with this. Certainly. I don't like that the regulations that comes from digital currency, it means that if you have extra funds left over, they can take that away under some trash like climate change, emissions hoaxes. Exactly. Or they can make it so that the mining actually expires. There's a bunch of different ways that they could limit it. You could only spend it on this food, or you could only spend it on this, you'll no longer be able to freely exchange money for goods and services. It'll be what they want. Goals of CBDCs. In the US and many other countries, many individuals don't have access to financial services. In the US alone, 5% of adults didn't have a bank account in 2020. An additional 13% of US adults who had bank accounts instead used costly alternative services like money orders, payday loans, and check cashing services. I wish. Limit the purchase of fuel, limit the purchase of animal meats. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're somewhere between slow rot that flies into Mad Max. That's my hope, at least. The main goal of CBDCs is to provide businesses and consumers with privacy. Privacy. The government just knows what, when, and how you can spend your money. But it's to provide you privacy, transferability, convenience, accessibility, and financial security. CBDCs could also decrease the cost of maintenance that a complex financial system requires, reduce cross-border transaction costs, and provide those who currently use alternative money transfer methods with lower cost options. Convenience, convenience, convenience. That's how they sell it. CBDCs would also reduce the risks associated with digital currencies or cryptocurrencies. Kill the crypto because it threatens them. Damn, that sounds good. Oh, nothing and be happy, brother. Yeah. All right, we're talking about vapes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile with their value constantly fluctuating. The volatility could cause severe financial stress in many households and affect the overall stability of an economy. Kind of like ours. CBDCs, backed by a government and controlled by a central bank, would give households, consumers, and businesses a secure means of exchanging digital currency. Very true. CBDC provides a country's central bank with the means to implement monetary policies to ensure stability, control growth, Jesus, and influence inflation. Yes, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to start being more active over there. Try and get banned there too. There are two types of CBDCs, wholesale and retail. Financial institutions are the primary users of wholesale CBDCs, whereas consumers and businesses use retail CBDCs. So they're already going to get the money cheaper. Wholesale CBDCs are similar to holding reserves in a central bank. See, the central bank grants an institution an account to deposit funds or use to settle interbank transfers. Central banks can use the monetary policy tools such as reserve requirements or interest on reserve balances to influence lending and set interest rates. So there it is. They'll be able to just change some numbers and change the whole fucking system. Retail CBDCs. Retail CBDCs are government-backed digital currencies used by consumers and businesses. Retail CBDCs eliminate intermediary risk, the risk that private digital currency issuers might become bankrupt and lose customers' assets. Yes. Absolutely. There are two types of retail CBDCs. They differ in how individual users access and use their currency. Token-based retail CBDCs are accessible with private keys or public keys, both. This method of validation allows users to execute transactions anonymously. Bullshit. This is the one that the government will actually use. 100%. Account-based retail CBDCs require digital identification to access an account. Important, it's possible to develop two types of CBDCs, wholesale and retail, and have them function in the same economy. Of course. Issues CBDCs address and create. The Federal Reserve has identified critical requirements a CBDC meets, as well as matters that it needs to be addressed before one can be designed and implemented. They've already figured these out because it implements tomorrow. Issues addressed by CBDCs, freeform credit and liquidity risk, lower cross-border payment costs, supports the international role of the dollar, aims for financial inclusion. What the fuck does that even mean? Expands access to the general public. Issues created by CBDCs. Financial structure changes. Financial system stability. Monetary policy influence. Privacy and protection. And cybersecurity. This is the same United States that has a really shitty track record and is about 30 years behind. And I think that's being generous. Yep. 30 years behind, and that's being generous in the cybersecurity field. And we get hacked and beat up all around the world by our different digital platforms. So issues addressed by CBDCs explained eliminates the third-party risk of events like bank failures or bank runs. So you can't go get your money because they need to keep the economy afloat. Any residual risk that remains in the system rests with the central bank. So they just make more money. Can lower high cross-border transactions costs by reducing the complex distribution systems and increasing jurisdictional cooperation between governments. One world government, anyone? Could support and protect the US dollar dominance. The US dollar is still the most used currency in the world. Till now. Removes the cost of implementing financial structure within a country to bring financial access to the unbanked population. What the fuck does that mean? How are they going to not, if you don't have a bank, how are you going to have a further digital currency? Okay. Nope. Also known as communism. We're going to read the last one. Can establish a direct connection between consumers and central banks, thus eliminating the need for expensive infrastructure. Again, our system is shit. Our digital system is shit in the United States. I just went up north. Okay. My wife and I, because this was on my mind, and a lot of the time in the car, you got a lot of time to talk. And we were talking about these people are not going to use a fucking digital currency ever. And even if they do use a digital currency, there are so many places up there where you cannot get any digital service. You cannot take a call. You cannot get an internet connection, cannot receive an email. And that's just one part of one state. And I'm sure there are other places like that. It's not unique to Michigan. That's the scary part. So, how do you do that? How do you do it up there? How do you do it where, and I love the place, I really do, but how do you do it when people are 60 years in the past? How do you do it when they literally have a general store, and that's the gas station, the pizza place, the ice cream shop, the movie rental? Yes, they still have movie rental, the beer store, your local grocery, and everything. And it is in a very small building. I know places that can't get internet service for debit credit cards, they don't want to spend $400 for a month for it. Yeah, exactly. And that's here. That's here. Your cell phone will not work. It will not work at all. Like, there is not the infrastructure there. It's going to completely isolate populations, and they're going to then you start breaking them apart and you start isolating them. We also talked about, because there's an Amish, there's a high concentration of Amish individuals up there as well. They aren't going to do this shit. They aren't going to do this shit. And what do you do with them? Like, they make some fucking fantastic donuts. Oh my God, they're so good. We bought a dozen and they were gone like that day. And they're huge donuts. Huge donuts. Oh my God, they're so good. And they're like $1 for a huge ass donut. But they only take cash. What are they going to do? Well, yeah, and I understand that. That was part of the thing. That's what I'm saying, dog mama. Like, that's I love this place. They only do it on Saturday mornings. Absolutely fantastic. It is a staple of us going up there. We visit them every single time we go up there for the weekend. Like, absolutely every single time. And they aren't ever going to accept digital currency. I mean, it's against their religious views. Well, yeah, and that's the thing that was up a little bit. We'll be back up there in like a month. I'm gonna take a picture of these donuts. They're fucking unbelievable, and they taste so good. They're like natural not highly processed bullshit, and they're like good size. You can only eat one at a time. They're great, but I'll take a picture next time. Should have this time. We see it with the digital platforms and the digital tech. We see that all over where, oh, you're infected with the wrong thing because you watch this channel, so we're gonna demonetize you. We're gonna take you off. There's not gonna be any ads. There's gonna be this. There's gonna be, all that kind of shit. And so how is that not going to extend to, oh, you can't buy a gun because you're, I mean, we're seeing it with the words that the FBI is putting out. Let me just say a couple of them to piss them off. Red pill, help me out, chat. You know these ones. MAGA, patriot. Shit. I can't think of any other ones because I'm thinking someplace else. But how do we LARPing was one of them. How do we, there you go, LARP. Are you in a position to, Blanders, just come in and rattle some off and then leave? Do it if you can. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I wanted to get a drink. Like the guy that started the Rittenhouse stuff, his felonies were dropped, but he can keep his gun. But the feds want to seize mine. Exactly. Bitch. Issues created by, so yes. So that's one of the things. There are certain areas in the country where it's just not possible, and we just won't have the infrastructure for a very long time. Shit. I was looking at you. Like, if I want to go outside and dance, I have to do the boring effing music we hear all the damn time on the radio because the government can't allow too high BPMs. We got to pay extra for that, I bet. Yeah. Rope. Yeah, rope is on there. I have it someplace. I just got to find it. So that's another consideration. There are places that are not going to be set up for this, are not going to be able to do this. And fuck you, Impish. I just looked over on the Discord and saw what you posted. I just want you to know, fuck you, Impish, real quick. Huh. That's crazy, huh? All right, so issues created by the CBDCs explained. And I intentionally picked an article that was bullshit so we could talk about it, of course. Because this is what they're trying to sell it as, and I think again it's important to know what the other side looks at, and yeah. So if the U.S. financial structure drastically changes, it's unknown how it would affect household expenses, investments, banking reserves, interest rates, the financial services sector, or the economy. No shit. Let's do what now? No, let's not do this yet. God damn it, stop it. All right. Effects the switch to CBDC would have on the financial system's ability are also unknown. For example, there may not be enough central bank liquidity to facilitate withdrawals during a financial crisis. No shit, that's part of the plan. You just shut it off. I'm such a bad gay. No, you're pretty good gay. Like, I've met worse. That's exactly what's going to happen. But now it's going to be legitimately government-backed, not through a third party. Central banks implement monetary policy to influence inflation, interest rates, lending, and spending, which in turn affects employment rates. Central banks must ensure that they have the tools needed to positively impact the economy. Yep. Privacy is one of the most significant drivers behind cryptocurrency. CBDCs would require an appropriate amount of intrusion by authorities to monitor for financial crimes. There it is. Monitoring is also important because it supports efforts to combat money laundering and the financing of terrorism. Oh, terrorism. We got to watch out for terrorism. Watch out for terrorism. And especially that MAGA terrorism. Watch out for that. Another step closer to having nothing. Can't wait for the last bit. Because if I'm not happy, I want my money back. Cryptocurrencies have been the target of hackers and thieves. A central bank digital currency would likely attract the same crowd of thieves. No shit. Therefore, efforts to prevent system penetration and theft of assets and information would need to be robust. I don't know, just imagine that. All right, CBDCs versus cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrency ecosystem provides a glimpse of an alternative currency system in which cumbersome regulations don't dictate the terms of each transaction. What? They are hard to duplicate or counterfeit and are secured by consensus mechanisms that prevent tampering. But didn't. Okay. Central bank digital currencies are designed to be similar to cryptocurrencies, but they may not require blockchain technology or consensus mechanisms. So, wait. Huh. So cryptocurrencies are good because they're harder to duplicate or counterfeit because of consensus mechanisms. But the central bank digital currencies may not require blockchain or consensus mechanisms and prevents penetration of theft of assets and information would need to be robust, which it's not. What the fuck? Yes. I don't know. Everybody's been pretty hard on me the last 2 days. So I'm kind of getting used to it. Dazzer's been a total dick. Additionally, cryptocurrencies are unregulated and decentralized. Their value is dictated by investor sentiments, usage, and user interest. They are volatile assets more suited for speculation, which makes them unlikely candidates for use in a financial system that requires stability. CBDCs mirror the value of fiat currency and are designed for stability and safety. Blah, blah, blah. So this is an older, I thought, but no. Here, the U.S. is one of those countries that's exploring whether CBDC could improve on an already safe and efficient U.S. domestic payment system. this has changed because they're implementing tomorrow. No, bottom line, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, yeah. So, not that Congress ever does any. All right, buddy. Yeah, MGTOW is on there. I knew that. So not that it ever matters what the people think anymore, but new poll, only 16% of Americans support the U.S. adopting a central bank digital currency. 68% would oppose if government couldn't see what you buy. So only 16% of Americans support the U.S. government adopting a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, according to the new Cato Institute's 2023 CBDC National Survey Report. The National Survey of 2,000 Americans conducted by YouGov found that twice as many Americans, 34%, oppose adopting a CBDC, while 49% don't yet have an opinion. Nevertheless, the survey finds that Americans are more concerned about CBDC's risks than they are enthusiastic about its benefits. Well, no shit. Bro, like, it's okay if you're being a dick, but don't lie about it. Some Americans are blah, blah, blah. So, 53% of Republicans oppose. Democrats are split. All percent opposed, 34. Wow. That's an interesting racial breakdown, legitimately. Men are smarter than women, so of course we're going to oppose it more. And 65 plus is the highest opposition age group. 45 to 64. This is 3 beers' age group. 42%. I tend to think it's higher than that, honestly. But blah, blah, blah. Government could control what people spend their money on and when. So the way it's going to be implemented, 74% of people oppose. 68% if they abolish all U.S. cash. Everything you purchase with digital currency. So across the board, people just are ignorant about what it means. Which part? I'm sorry. Are you talking about this specific one? Well, that's what I'm saying. And they sell it as, oh, we could get rid of all crime. But, so this is the breakdown by demographics of people who oppose the central bank digital currency that is set to roll out tomorrow. So it's rolling out tomorrow, but this is a YouGov poll, I believe. Yeah, YouGov through Cato. So this is how it breaks down. And then this gets into, that's just, do you oppose it? And then it gets into a further breakdown. Would you oppose it if government could control what people spend their money on and when? And that's 74%. And that's kind of where we're at. That's what's going to happen. This is going to be this top one. And there's just a lot of ignorance surrounding CBDC. We already went through all that kind of stuff. Money laundering and fraud. Well, the government can still do it. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate it, Jude. Government could. Well, okay. We're not going to get into that. Both Republicans and Democrats, anybody with a brain and anybody who's not a banker is wary of CBDCs. So this is just a bunch of different breakdowns. 89% trust private banks more than government to handle their money appropriately. Government should stay out of our money. I'm not seeing a lot of your comments though, so it automatically deletes some of the comments unless you're seeing them. I mean, you can see them since you're backstage, so just verify that they're coming through. So this is being pushed by this group. I'm not going to say much about them because I've already talked about Hillary and I don't want to die. But the IMF is the agency that's really pushing this. And this is all part of that one world government, that kind of thing. So I was looking for So this is what? This is where, and this is a little bit behind, but this is the currency tracker. So we have two that are canceled. Use case retail. So we had one in Ecuador that was canceled and one in Senegal that was canceled. So these are all we have pilots in Australia, Russia, China, of course. We know about WeChat and all that. Where the hell did that go from? He absolutely was. So this is kind of how it's breaking down. There are so many different but that's the China model is the one that's going on. And here's a bunch of different digital currency projects that are coming from CBDC. So countries, December was their last update. So we have launch pilots in development. Yeah, and this is kind of the same thing that we read previous. I just wanted to see those certain things. So, what can we do to stop it? Well, not shit. Not shit at this point. Pull what up, pussy? Yes, Audra. This is so this is their app package. So they have WeChat, and it's part of that social credit score. There's a lot of things that are similar to the Chinese system that we're likely going to see here. So China has a WeChat app, and it gives you your social credit score. It gives you vaccine passports. Anybody, all those types of things are factored in. Hey, Shenny. I don't think I'm overly angry, am I? I think there's a lot of tension in the world right now. and a lot of uncertainty, and it makes people really, really concerned. So tomorrow is when it's implemented. And of course, this is the first stage of many, but we can see the direction that it's headed. So it's not going to go completely to WeChat, social credit score, and all that tomorrow, but it is the implementation, and it is going to start heading that direction, and it will probably head there very, very quickly. And as you see, damn, that might not be true. Yeah, no, I think we all agree. I think we all agree for the most part here. I think this is incredibly damaging, and you may have heard rumblings about it, but I don't think that anyone's covered it in depth that I've seen. It's something that's flown relatively under the radar. Biden did it with an executive order, stroke of a pen, and I think that it's definitely concerning. That's why I made a huge point to get to it before it was actually implemented. So, one more thing. Yeah, no worries. Trump Kanye 2024. So there is Mooney, Representative Mooney, Senator Ted Cruz, Governor Ron DeSantis are all government officials against CBDCs. There is like I said, we go into the pilot goes to the implement, blah, blah, blah. We start rolling through it. So unveils a bill to block central bank digital currency pilot program. There's not a ton here. He authored a bill. It's not getting anything. Close the pilot program loophole. So we'll start hearing that in the news. That could allow the Federal Reserve to implement a test run of CBDC without the consent of Congress. Well, that's happening tomorrow. So it's just going through a lot of the other things. 65 countries are in the advanced stage of CBDC development, and more than 20 central banks have launched their pilots, including China, Japan, Russia, Brazil. So that's kind of where we're at. Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota. China's 2020 rollout digital yuan pilot program was initially designed to serve 4 cities, has been expanded to 25. And yeah, he's right on. There's not a bunch of substance in this. I just wanted to show you that there's just a teeny tiny bit of hope. Not much, but a teeny tiny bit. So I am obviously, very obviously, if DeSantis really cared, he'd be a VP. Yep. Very obviously against this whole central bank digital currency deal. I think that it totally coincided with this debt limit. They want to sell this as a new program, a way out. If there's anything that they do well, they create the problem and then give you the solution to solve it. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that we can continue to push back on this one. This one's not going to be pretty. It certainly was a coincidence. Yeah, I know, cheesy. I know, buddy. We're getting damn close. There was. If you didn't catch my stream earlier, don't go back and watch it. They said nothing. literally nothing. 4.5 hours of nothing. But yeah, I think this is a furtherance of control. It's designed to find a way out of the problem that they've all caused. And I think it's imperatively bad for our country. I hope that it never gains traction. I hope that it never is successful. However, we all know that's probably not the case. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add. I just keep your head up. I'll do more updates on things as we go on and as it progresses, and try and keep up with it because it's been very quiet. It was a 4-hour circle jerk from established beer scratch. Yeah, I'm really concerned that they might have shoulder injuries patting each other on the back. Like, I hope that they have a team doctor. Yep, absolutely. And I think it's all planned. So, but all right, y'all. Well, that's it for me. I have streamed like 7 hours today, so I'm gonna call it. I hope you learned something tonight. I hope you're a little bit more informed. And yeah, so once again, this lovely sound comes from my good friend, Brian. And what is today? Wednesday? Thursday. Tomorrow, news roundup and movie night. Go vote in the box office. Shit, she probably already closed it. Let me check before I tell you to do that. Yeah, it's still up. It won't be much longer. So go vote in the box office for your movie choice for tomorrow night. So we'll do news roundup, go over to Discord, watch a movie together. Friday, I'm going to continue building this Chinese battleship Legos. Saturday, we are going to continue on Sea of Thieves and games and chat. And then Sunday, we'll get back into the normal things. We'll finish up Boys on the Tracks with the Clinton body count. And then Monday, we'll be back to Jacob Castro's favorite, the Cannibal Killer, Mike Latensky. Got some interesting news about that as well. So thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see y'all soon. Have a great night.